welcome to today's class. This class is going to cover part of learning outcome 1, and it's going to cover learning outcome 1 because we've just finished the old learning outcome last time around. So we're going to try and cover the rest now today. So we're going to do algebraic formula today, and I told you initially, when factorizing, what you have to do is that if you realize that you cannot really resolve it through completing the square, you cannot solve it through factorizing. So the next point is to do what? Completing is to do algebraic formula. So algebraic formula is you have to know these things, and you might probably have to know the formula. It's equals to what? Minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Everything, you have to be very careful about that. That is all divided by what? By 2a. Everything divided by 2a. That is it. You must divide everything by 2a. So now, how can we identify the coefficients? How can we know the coefficients? If you look at the first part here, you will see that the first coefficient here is a. That is what is before the x squared. Second coefficient is b, is before the ordinary x, while the third coefficient doesn't have x there. So looking at this example, the first coefficient is 1 because you can see this s squared is there ordinarily without any number. So a will be equal to 1. So that's how to identify it. The second coefficient is the number beside x. That's going to be what? Minus what? Minus 3. So it's going to be what? B equals to what? Minus 3, because it's the one that is actually beside B. The third one is C, the one that stands alone. C equals to what? Equals to minus 5. Can you see? C equals to minus 5. So that is how you identify. So when you identify the coefficients, so it's now left for you to substitute the coefficients in the formula, then you can get your answer. So they might ask you to, to do the answer in a way that is a decimal or in a set form. If it's going to be in a decimal, use calculator. If it's in a set form, just try, you see a sign here. You see a sign here, plus or minus. So that means that you have to solve the plus first, then before you actually solve the minus. So let's look at the solution now in the next slide. So you can try and do this one. So try and pause it and do this one. Then so to get the answer, you can see clearly that I won't. So let's try and do this question now. So you can see clearly that anywhere you see B, you will put minus 3 there. Don't forget, guys, A equals 1, B equals minus 3, C equals 2 minus 5. So then you look at it. So what is minus B? So minus B is minus 3. So sorry, B is minus 3. So you put minus 3. And you see plus or minus B squared. That's minus 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 5. Everything equals to over 2 times what? Times 1. So what is minus 3? That's going to give you what? This is going to be what? 3? 3 plus or minus, because when you say minus times minus, that gives you positive. So it's going to be this. Then you see that one, minus 3 squared is going to be, that gives you 9. Minus 4 times minus 5 is plus 20. So plus 20. So everything is going to be divided by what? Divided by 2. So you now solve it. 9 plus 20 is 29. So it's going to be, you solve the positive first. 3 plus, what is 9 plus 20? That gives you 29. Then you solve negative 2. It depends on the order you prefer, but you can solve negative first too. So that gives you 3 minus root 29 divided by 2. Can you see? These are the two answers. So you can put that one in the calculator straight away. Then you will get it right. So it's a very straightforward topic. It's not something that you need to actually stress yourself that much about. It's very important that you actually want to take note of that. So you can pause it and try and have a go on have a go. So look at this question. You can see this question. This question you can have on your screen, so you can try and have a go, and you will see that what's it called? You can realize that you should be fine. You get it with all these questions. Just try and have a go. Put those formulas in it. Then you test your understanding. You should be fine. So have a go on it. Then let me know from the feedback section on how you actually how the whole thing went. So you can actually have a go. Pause the video, have a go. Then you get back to me and see how the whole thing actually went. So we just go be learning and come to where we look at graphs, how to actually transform graphs. So what is the equation of the line? So when you look at the equation of a straight line, so where is the line covering? So you can see clearly here that what's it called? The line is what? The equation is what? X equals to 2. That's the equation of that straight line. So for you to, if I put a line here too, I draw a line like this from here. Can you see the red one? Talking about the red one now. If I ask you that, what's the equation of that line? Have a go. The line equals to what? Y equals to what? Minus 2. The reason why the line is y equals to minus 2 is because what? The line is independent of what? Of minus 2. The line is independent of what? Of the x. So it's just the same. This is what? Is independent of x. So if you look at this one too, if I draw a line like this, you can see me draw a line like this. Yeah. You can see clearly here that this one is going to be what? Y equals to x. Can you see? Y equals to x. The reason why y equals to x is this. At any point in this graph, y is going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to x. At any point in this graph, y is going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to x. That's why it's what? Y equals to x. So that's how, that's a simple equations that you might probably need to know. And another one, the last one I'm going to show you is this. So if you have, you draw this one. if you draw this one, if you draw a line like this, you draw it on this side. You draw it, let me just clear this so that you can see it clearly. If you draw it, at this point, you can see that one clearly that, what's it called? You can see at this point, you can see those points there. You can see those points there. You can see those points there. That tells you that what? At this point, the value is going to be what? X plus Y equals to 4. So I will show you y is going to be x plus y equals to 4. So at this point, you can see that at the first point, you can see me pointing to, let me use, let me see what I can use to point to it. Mouse. Okay, let me just put mouse there. At this point, you see me pointing to like this. That is 0 plus 4. That's equals to 4. At this point, you see here, that's what? 1 plus 3. That gives you 4. At this point, you see here is 2 plus 2. That gives you 4. At the point you see here is 3 plus 1. That gives you 4. At the point you see here is 0 plus 4 gives you 4. So it's just very straightforward. There are some lines you can draw in, what's it called? Easily without trying to look for the table. So that's just the first part of it. So let's look at like a series of lines now. So look at the next one now. You can see, like this one. You can actually have a go and see, maybe we can name, you can actually find the equation of any of these lines. But if you see, for example, if I give you example of A, you can see, let me show you, let me just give you one. You can try and trace the other one and have a go. And let's see how it goes in the group chats. So let me look at A for you. Let me do A for you. Then, so yeah, let me do A for you. Okay, it's writing now. You can see the coordinates of A pointing here, pointing here, pointing here, pointing here. So what is the condition? You can see that 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. So then what's it called? This one is -2 and -3. So because this one does not pass through the origin, and it does not pass through the origin, there's going to be like a slightly shift in how to actually do the equation of that line. I will show you very well in the next slide. So what I want you to know, very important here, is this. There's a generic equation for equation of a straight line. Y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to mx plus c. So the first one, the m you see here, is the gradient as shown in our PowerPoint. That's the gradient. And the c you see there is the y-intercept. So I'm going to define the gradient for you now. The gradient is the steepness of the graph. The gradient is what? Is the steepness of the graph. So if you're trying to work out the gradient, it's like the steepness of the graph. I will show you how to do the gradient now. So the gradient, you can also call the gradient slope, the slope of the graph, the steepness of the graph. So when you say, what about y-intercept? Y-intercept is the line, is the coordinate that is the coordinates when y, is the coordinate when the line crosses y-axis. So let me go back to the previous graph so I can see that what we're talking about. So for example, look at this graph now. I'm going to use graph A as an example too. I'm going to use graph A. I'm going to use graph A as an example. So if you look at this place now, that is the line where, that is the point where line A crosses y-axis. So the C is going to be equal to 1. Because what? Why do you think the C equals to 1? C equals to 1 because what? That is where it crosses what? Y-axis. So if they ask you that, what is the y-intercept for C? Try and have a go. You can pause the video and I will tell you the answer in a sec. So thank you. So the C is going to be what? Can you see? C crosses y-axis at -2. That means that the y-intercept is going to be -2. The y-intercept is going to be what? It's going to be -2. If they ask you that, okay, what's the y-intercept for, what's it called? If they ask you that out of all these graphs, name the graph that have the same y-intercept. Name the graph that have the same y-intercept. You can see A, D, and H. They have the same what? Y-intercept. E and C also have the same y-intercepts. G and B also have the same what? Y-intercept. So that is just the line that they use actually what crosses y-axis. That's called the y-intercept. So I'm going to try and do the gradient too for you. How can you find the gradient? So the best method to find the gradient is this. I'll just tell you, is for you to pick the two best coordinates you think actually would work for you. So I'm going to use A as an example again. I'm going to pick these points. I'm picking that first point because what? I can easily what? Know the coordinate. Coordinates for that one is going to be 2, 3. That's the coordinate for A. That's the coordinate for that point. What about the coordinate for the second one? That's going to be what? 1, 2. 1, 2. So you now find the gradient. So the gradient is what? The difference in y-axis divided by the difference in x-axis. Difference in y-axis divided by difference in x-axis. That gives you 3 minus 2 divided by 2 minus 1. 3 minus 2 divided by 2 minus 1. That gives you 1 divided by 1. That gives you 1. That's actually what the gradient, that gives you 1. So you can have a go and try and do the gradient for what's it called, for C, which I think is going to be also what? It's going to be 1. So let's move on so that we won't spend too much time. We won't overshoot our time. So you can see here now, let's find the gradient. So this is the formula I told you about. Difference in y-axis divided by difference in the x-axis. So this is what you need to do. I will find the gradient for the first two. For the first one and for the first one, you can have a go on the second and the third. So 10 minus 4. Can you see this one is what? X. Don't forget from your primary, the first coordinate is X, second is going to be Y. This one is what? X, second is going to be Y. So 10 minus 4 divided by 3 minus 1. That gives you 6 divided by 2. That gives you 3. That is it. It's that easy. So you can have a go. You can pause the video, have a go on the other 2 questions, on the other 2 gradients. Then you can unback the pause the video. Then you can try and check a solution. So look at this second one now. You put this one there to X, Y, X, Y. So what's the difference? Difference is what? 1 minus 7. And 8 minus this. So what is 1 minus 7 is going to be minus 6. What is 8 minus 5? That gives you what? 3. What is minus 3 divided? What is minus 6 divided by 3? That gives you what? Minus 2. I would leave the whole thing. So you can see the check your answer is good -2. Then you can, whatever last one to, 10 -2 divided by -1 minus, so divided by -1 -2. 10 -2 is going to be 8. -1 -2 is going to give you what? -3. That is it. So check and see maybe you actually you got the answers right. So that's how to find the gradient. So if you know how to find the gradient and you also know how to find the y-intercept, then I think you can find the equation of the straight line now. So look at this one too. What is this? Y is going to be equal to what? This. What's the gradient? Where is it over -2? And this one too. What was the gradient? You have to rearrange for y. Take away 2x from both sides. That gives you 3y equals to 2x minus 4. Y equals to 2 over 3 x minus 4 over 3. So that is much straightforward. That gives you what x greater than equal to 2 over 3. So it's a straightforward topic. And so they ask you to determine that what's the gradient of the line that goes through this path. Determine the equation. So y will be equal to what? 5x plus c. And you see y equals to what? 5x plus c. So x is this one is what? 10. 10 equals to 5 times 7. So because anywhere you see 7, anywhere you see x, you put 7 there. Anywhere you see y, you put 10 there. Plus c. So that gives you 10 equals to 35 plus c. Then c equals to -25. That means that y equals to 5x minus 25. So that's the answer, 5x minus 25. So you can actually have a go on the other two questions and see how far you can actually get in that. So you can be giving points like these too. The same thing. What's the gradient? You find the same thing. Just pick any number. Okay, let's try and do the first one, and you can actually have a go on the second. So this is what's it called? 12 minus. You find the gradient. 12 minus 6. 5 minus 3. Can you see? Make sure you're taking the one coordinate from the other one so that it can be clear. So it's going to be 6 divided by 2. That gives you 3. 6 divided by 2. That gives you 3. Then that gives you 3. Then it's going to be what? Y equals to Can you see? Then it goes through what 5 and 12. Plus C equals to minus 3. So it's not going to be what y equals to, what's the gradient? 3x minus 3. That is it. 3x minus 3. So you can have a go on the second one too and see. So you can pick any coordinates. For example, now I picked 12 and 5. You can pick 3 and 6. Go get the same coordinates. We'll get the same answer too. So if I picked 3 and 6 as a coordinate, you can see that it's going to be what y equals to 3x plus c. So then what is the y? The y part is 6. What is the x? The x is going to be 3. It will be 3 times 3 plus c. So it will be 6 equals to 9 plus c. Then c equals to 3 minus 3. So the same thing too. Y equals to 3x. So any coordinate you use, you should be fine with it. So that's how to determine what to determine a straight line equation. So so another one that you need to know a few things about go through this is perpendicular to that one. So some of that ones too we need to actually what to know. We need to know that when equations are when they are parallel to each other. When they are parallel to each other means that they have the same gradient. When lines are parallel, means they have the same gradient. For example, now you said that if you ask to write equation that is parallel to this y equals to 2x plus 1, it's going to be like you can put y equals to like 2x plus a number, let's say plus 5. They are parallel. So let's look at one example. Don't forget, parallel lines have the same gradient. So if you know the gradient for one, you can use that one to find the gradient of the other one. So that is what you have to. So look at this one. Now, when you said determine the equation of a parallel line, this y equals to 6x minus 3. That is the equation of the straight line. So when you say it's parallel, it's going to be what? Y equals to 6x plus c. Then it passes through 3 and 10. So 10 equals to 6 times 3 plus c. So 10 equals to 18 plus c. C equals to minus 8. C equals to minus 8. C equals to what? C equals to minus 8. So the equation is going to be what? Y equals to 6x minus 8. So you can have a go on the other ones too and see how it goes. So the final one we're going to do is perpendicular. When they are perpendicular, means that they are at right angle to each other. That means that their gradient is what? It's going to be negative reciprocal. So for example, now if you have like, if you want to find out the gradient of the other one, if they give you one, you have to find the gradient of the other one. It's going to be the one minus 1 divided by the one given. So that gives you So when you multiply the two gradients together, it's going to go to what? -1. So then you know, let's try and like solve it. So this one now, if you give this one to be 2, the perpendicular is going to be what? -1 divided by 2. That gives you what? -1/2. What about this one? Gives you what? -1 divided by -3. That gives you what? 1/3. Look at this one now. When you say 1 divided by 1/4, 1 -1 divided by 1/4. So that gives you -4. Because it's going to be what? -4/1. Then this one is going to give you -1 divided by 5. Gives you -1/5. This one is going to be -2 divided by -1 divided by, sorry, let me just rub that one off. -1 divided by 2/7. So that gives you 7/2. So, and this one, -1 divided by 7/5. That gives you -5/7. So just try and check it. Like you can pause in between and see, maybe you can actually get this one right. So let's look at one example. So that 9 goes through this. So the line goes through 9 and 10, and it's perpendicular to the gradient this. So to the equation that. So this is the gradient now. You must find the perpendicular gradient to it. That gives you what? -1 divided by 3. That gives you what? -1/3. So it's going to be what? Y equals to -1/3 x plus c. So, and it passes through 9 and 10. So passes through 9 and 10, it's going to be 10. Y is 10. Then x is 9. -1/3 times 9 plus c. So that gives you -3. Then it goes to -3 plus c. 10 equals to, you add 3 to both sides. You add 3 to both sides. That gives us 10 plus 3 equals to c. C equals to 13. So when it says perpendicular, it's going to be what? Y equals to 3x plus 13. Yeah. So so at the end of so we are done with the learning outcome 1 now. You're going to have assignment on that. Then when we're done with learning outcome 2, you also have an assignment on that. So we'll be done with that tomorrow in the next class. Thank you for joining. Thank you.